Ready?
It's a different factor of how indigenous communities are overturning the fashion industry, the modeling industry, and they're very much welcoming. Where it's like, you don't need to be 6 foot, you don't need to be this, you don't need to be this slim. You can be however you are, just as long as you have that self-love, self-care for yourself, and knowing that you can do it. And that's what I love about this indigenous community.
There is so much beauty in our traditional lifeways. It doesn't just live in the past. It lives right now. It is here. It is thriving. It is growing. And there's so much creativity within our communities that really all you need to do is just shine a little light, and so much beauty just creeps into it. I see a lot of communities reacting to this kind of lifting up of this very specific style and this very community-driven approach that Jacob and I are both really proud to be a part of. We're excited to take this around and just showcase so many more natives, so many more creatives. We just know that they're everywhere we look, and it's just the privilege of our lives to just be able to lift them up and let them feel the love of their community around them. We truly believe that every Native person deserves that, and we want to bring it to them. This year has just been incredible, exponential really. Just watching the designers kind of grow into that identity, watching some folks that were our models last year step out onto the stage as designers has been just an incredible growth track to watch. And then just the community support. We had 4 times as many attendees this year for the Northwest Native Fashion Show than last year, and it's just going to keep growing.
You know, this event is so beneficial for our community in so many ways. It gives designers and artists, creatives, just a broader platform and exposure. It helps them understand that they can be successful in small business rather than just doing this as a hobby. And the partnership with Hamleys really showcases the designers by providing the product in store, so customers that have never seen their products walk through the store and they see the items, which then helps build their brand online. The Hamley store has been here since 1908, and we have customers from all over the world, really. In the summer, Denmark and England, so many customers come from all over. And so for our local community to have that type of exposure is really impactful for their businesses. And I just think it's a wonderful event, just a lot of training and so many different things that are amazing, not just the fashion show.
Our thought process is to be, so the theme this year was Revolvolution. We wanted the designers to really, we challenged our designers this year. We said, hey, most of you are veterans, but all of them really are at the heart of it. They've all been sewing for many years. So we said, hey, we're gonna challenge you. We're gonna Revolvolution, mindful creation and destruction. Go with the theme. How are you going to upcycle? How are you going to utilize what you already have? How are you going to utilize textiles that you can innovate with and create this neo-traditional value on your looks and your collections? I think that's a really big takeaway in general, is just knowing that Native people are this is what's annoying, is we become survivors to people. I'm so over being a survivor. I'm over it. We're not survivors, we're thrivers. We are here. We're not just through a genocide. We're not trauma people that you should pity. Stop it, stop pitying us. We are here, and we are here to make waves. We're here to make leaps and bounds and create these amazing works of art that you should definitely say, hey, they're here, and we're gonna market to that. That's the entire intent here, right? We have an entire market that we can create out of what we're doing here and be intentional about it. And that's what we challenge them to do tonight.
Welcome to Hamleys. My name is Kayla Fossick. I am the social media and assistant manager of Hamleys Western Store. I'm going to show you around to see some of our Native American designers. So we've been showcasing a bunch of different Native American designers through NCFS. This one is Terry Carnes. We have apparel, jewelry, all sorts of stuff from her. These are some ribbon skirts and shawls. And then we also have some more ribbon skirts from Michelle Burke over here. And then right here, a Kanini purse.
My name is Kelly George. I'm a Umatilla tribal member. I'm president of our Nikiawe Community Financial Services that's newly on the ground, so to speak. Well, I think the heart of this economic summit is to promote Native American entrepreneurs, and it's doing that. But last year, the fashion show was great. I thought it was awesome. This year, it was a lot better, even though last year was great. I really took a step up. Kudos to Jacob Wallace for promoting this.
My name is Lamar Minthorn. I'm with Tutawilla True Fish. I'm the boat captain and rider of fish. I'm from the Umatilla Reservation. Again, it's big, just bringing people together. It's kind of like a movers and shakers type mentality here. And just implementing anything that's together with multiple tribes is tough. You don't really see that when we were growing up as much. I think that's really positive. Just kind of that trickle down effect of what's happening with finance and then spreading it. Other businesses are happening, entrepreneurship's happening, which is kind of unheard of. Like, I don't know, when I was growing up, there was like 3 people I knew that owned businesses. And so now it's seeing people's trying to start up. I just heard my cousin start one. I'm like, hell yeah, like that's dope. So
I think it feels empowering. It's created a space for all of us to support one another and all aim towards a higher goal of advocating for Indigenous perspective throughout the industry of models, but also in artistry, designing, fashion. And I think it all helps to be in a safe space where we all can rely on one another, but we can also relate to one another, and it makes me feel more at ease, and I feel more confident. Indigenous people's reaction to Indigenous people on stage, I think it's really inspiring to see someone being themselves in a unique form that actually represents your culture on stage.
Every person I met, every session I went to, from food sovereignty to SSBCI to business technical assistance, every single one was valuable. And I met incredible people who are invested in their communities, in Native-owned businesses, and I just learned so much. And I've left with friends that I still connect with. So we were able to fund 4 different Native CDFI and other partners like the Northwest Native Chamber, and I would not have known them or met them had I not been here last year. So my prayer, my hope, is that others reach out when we have our grand announcement so we can fund more Native-led, Native-owned, Native-led nonprofits that are serving small businesses. So I am a musician, so I'm not a creative, I'm not an artist, I'm not a fashion person. I can barely put colors together. I'm special, but what I saw and how I felt, I saw these amazing outfits and these beautiful humans carrying themselves in these beautiful outfits, and I just made from these beautiful creative minds and hearts and souls. It was beautiful.
So my name is Lydia Scahan. I'm from Lafayette, Idaho, and I'm representing the Umatilla and the Nez Perce tribes. It's really exciting because for about 5 years I was traveling all across Indian country, like California and back in the Midwest and all of these different regions, and was just thinking how great it would be if we started to have fashion shows like in our own communities, like the ones that I was traveling to. And Jacob and Casey have been doing a really great job at the fashion shows that they've been doing. They've been, some of the best that I've been to in the 5 years of going to Native fashion shows. And so it's just super exciting to see us having that here in this community.
I think for me, this is probably the most important piece of me paying it forward for all of the years of what I've done. I've been in the scene 17 years now, I want to say, which is a long time for me. I started when I was 14, 15. I went to the high fashion industry overseas, reality TV. I just did New York Fashion Week 2 weeks ago myself, walking, which was a really big peak of my career, to show that I feel like it's important for Indigenous scenes and our representation is that we're really taking the reins on what we feel like our standards are and our expectations of the models that we work with. So it's like ageism isn't a thing, you know, we promote healthy bodies. We know that mental health matters. Like, it's so much different than being in the high fashion industry where, you know, your mental health can be compromised in those areas and stuff. And so for us, like, we really do operate like a family, and we all are elevating each other. And we understand that we're just creating on a platform of something, like, we have something to build on. And we're making our own standards and everything as we go with that. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I so much enjoy being behind the scenes these days, being the producer, being the coach, the cheerleader. It's kind of, I don't think for me anymore, I don't get as much joy of being out on the runway myself. I totally love putting productions together and pulling in all of these pieces and stuff. And so I just feel such a different way, but it's so important for me to be able to teach all of those who are interested, who haven't had the opportunity. It's just important. It's a full circle kind of situation.
Oh my gosh, we've needed this. I feel like people don't know what we do, and to have that spotlight on us tribal members at one of our tribal owned stores is really big. And for them to put our clothes in a store in town, you know, off the reservation, I feel like that's huge. And all the marketing that they put in for us is really a big help to get our names out there, and people reach out and want custom stuff done for them because they don't know who to go to. So just this whole fashion show has, I feel like, given us a big spotlight for us tribal members that do all that sewing and traditional wear.
And not many of our Native peoples have the opportunity to have a business development center available to them with somebody such as Jacob and his staff to enlighten us on what direction we should go to put ourselves out there. If we're going to put ourselves out there, then we better have some direction in what we need to do, how we need to market ourselves once we get going, because economics aren't always on the forefront with any tribe. They're usually sitting in the background. To learn that perspective of it really helps us to immobilize where we can go from, as we've been talking, from our kitchen counters, from our house, out there and putting ourselves out there so we can sell our product and provide for our family, and actually create a healing purpose for ourselves, because we're not only creating items to share with people, we're creating items that they're also going to wear. I come from a family that of fashion people, and everything we did, we wanted to make sure that everybody wore it and we could see it. So it's nice, it's enlightening.
I am Ricky Whipple. I work for Northwest Native Development Fund, NNDF. We are located in Cooley Dam, Washington on the Colville Indian Reservation. I said something earlier about the sessions and stuff not actually even being the most important part in my perspective. You know, it's great. They're all amazing. I'm not gonna say one's better than the other. I think it's important I think the most important thing about these summits though is who you meet. It's all about connection, and Lisa Smith said something earlier, it's like about a relationship and actually having that. So I think that has been my favorite part and is always my favorite part about these events. It's not even, I don't remember half of what's even on the screen, to be honest, but I remember the people that I meet and the people who give you a business card, or just talking, like, you know, the summit hours are really important, but things like the fashion show are important because that's where you're really going to connect with somebody, and that's more important than what's going on the screen.
It's significant, right? I think really what it emphasizes is the need for this kind of support in rural communities, right? I think tribal communities are often left behind in that conversation. And so to see the intention to gather people out in a space like this, I think really it highlights the desire for the work to happen, because clearly people are showing up, people are ready to contribute, people are ready to connect and collaborate. And that momentum is incredibly important to not only sustaining the mission, but actually seeing the work through. So being out here is just, it's a real privilege of mine to be able to kind of see everybody bring their authentic self, and hopefully I can contribute to, any of the work in any capacity that feels substantive, because I think that's the desire of all of us here this week.
It really is groundbreaking, I feel, because this is such a new thing, and not a lot of Indigenous people have established fashion. And now there's so many people coming out, there's so many names coming out, there's new designs, new ideas, new creativity, and also networking and giving, being icons one day.
One of the things that stood out to me this week on some of the panel, I'm going to go to the panel that I was on, and just kind of the vibe that I got from the people in the audience and the panel, there's a real sense now, I think, of developing some stability around finance, some stability around capital. Hopefully, in time, as that grows and the stability within our own reservations, it will, it makes it strengthens our sovereignty. And for the longest time, people thought that we were giving up sovereignty. It's now we're understanding that no, it strengthens it, and it will drive more finance into our local economies. And there's just a better acceptance, I think, of that now.
My name is Terry Carnes, and I work for the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation in the finance office. And on my downtime, I create. We have, our culture as Native Americans. I mean, we're it through and through, right? So it's with us daily. For me, I was brought up like the old way. You're supposed to get up in the morning, you give your thanks, stuff like that, and you appreciate, you're humble, things like that. So I carry with me daily. And so when I sit down to do a piece, I think about, my teachings and then designs, from other pieces or what they mean. And sometimes it's a little bit of, let me just try it and see how it all works out. But the whole combo of it all, yeah, I mean, you definitely, I think of any artist, they bring back what they were taught in their pieces. So